Fantastic. All right, talk about structural walling solutions with AFS. So essentially, if we look at that, AFS is a business that kicked off in 1996, and it works in what we call prefabricated permanent formwork solutions. And we'll go into that a little bit about that later on in the presentation. CSR acquired the business in 2014, and it's important to note that if you look at the CSR range of brands and our brand strength in the building industry, we work and own and operate a family of brands that are well known across the industry: Gyprock Plasterboard, PGH Bricks, Bradford Insulation, Hebel, etc. Brands that are synonymous with building and architectural industry. So when we talk on AFS, it was important that we saw it as a leader in permanent formwork systems through both logic wall and ready wall. And I'll go into a bit of the difference of that, but this structural walling solution will enable you to achieve building requirements, structural walling through both below ground and above ground, all within the same entity, which is really important factor. We're Australian made, was certified, we're compliant to NCC, and obviously work with AS 3600 concrete structure compliance. And these are important factors for CSR. It's being Australian made as well. That means you're going to get your gear and your product on time, particularly currently in a world where we have global issues in regard to import delays, etc. with COVID. But it's here and it's manufactured using Australian design know-how in both Goulburn and our Minto facilities. Just want to go into a bit of a typical method of formwork systems quickly. Obviously, in situ conventional formwork, on-site, prepared, filled, and where the formwork, obviously we can create a wonderful array of shapes, etc., or whatever, different surfaces of whatever is required on the project. So reinforced concrete cast on site, strip the formwork back, you see what you get. Block work, it's a very traditional method and being used of essentially where hollow cement blocks are laid in mortar, are filled in, and very available across the trade base, and it's fairly accessible to use. Precast concrete, we've seen enormous growth in this over the recent 20 years or so, where everything is done off-site, brought to site, okay, in a format that is required for the building, different shapes, designs, etc., but craned in, but obviously something that requires exceptional planning and scheduling to happen. But we're going to move into what we call permanent formwork or prefab formwork. And this is where AFS comes into the picture. It's prefabricated off-site. And basically what we talk about is two systems. So essentially where logic wall is two fiber cement sheets bond over a steel stud. And then basically, essentially you have concrete core fill going in with a reinforcement. And it's done pretty much, the manufacture of the studs and the panel off-site, delivered as wall packs, stood up, adjustable and braced to achieve straightness. And we do this with our network of certified installers. These aren't installers that we just recommend on a whim. These are installers that are AFS trained and know the business, know the product and know the solution. Because as designers, you want that sure thing to know that I've specified, I've worked this through the building, I want to know it gets installed correctly. And including things like specified slump rates, etc. That's really vital because we want to get the slump rate right. All right, we don't want it sitting on the reinforcement bars. We want it evenly flowed into the wall, into the panel, so that you're getting a nice even flow and there's no voids or air gaps. And we have things like thermal imaging cameras, etc., that enable it to be detected if there's any voids or air gaps in those panels. So where do we use it? The applications. What AFS prides itself on is a great, strong support network, so that when we're working with your structural engineers' requirements and design work, we're able to then provide a service that ensures you get the right application of profile to suit your walling profile, to suit your project. So we've done it across houses, residential, class 1, class 2, we've done aged care, commercial, industrial structures, etc. It's speedy, it's quick, but at the same time, it has a more simplified approach for installation as well. So that means minimal error for things going wrong. Structural walls from a non-ductile perspective in accordance with AS 3600, 2 to 10 stories, limited ductile 6 to 16 plus stories, as specified as required through your structural engineers. We do lift and stair core walls. We do party walls, acoustic, as I said. So it's not just an external component we're talking about. Internal as well. Complete solution is what we work through. In-ground PVC, this is where ReadyWall comes into its own. Things like retaining walls and stormwater service pits, underground parking, basement areas, etc. So we're providing the complete solution suite, walling solution suite for you. And then you can start to add in things like internal linings with gyprock, facades with Cementel, roofing, Monair, etc. Brick. There's a range of things that are there for you. There are two bases, AFS ReadyWall and LogicWall. So again, ReadyWall, you'll see a range of profile sizes through to 300. So 110, 156, 200. Let's take generally a single reinforcement to double Rio, and when you get into 200 and above, the more heavy lifting, so to speak, and that's on both from ReadyWall and LogicWall in particular. So LogicWall is your fiber cement based walling system. Again, 2 fiber cement sheets on the outside, steel studs on the inside. Again, a range of solution profiles up to 2.62, up to 262 mil wide. The other thing to think about is that we can do custom lengths as well. And that's important in a green building technology scenario where we want to minimize waste on site. You want to get what size you want on time, snap, fit, and done with no waste. So that's the other component that provides a more holistic solution. And again, we're the only one in the market, only one that offers complete from below ground to above ground application. So why choose AFS? Speed of construction is paramount, but we want to do it so that speed doesn't compromise quality. It doesn't compromise structural integrity. It doesn't compromise trade integrity. And it's such important in today's environment that we are doing this, but done in compliance and requirement of industry standards. So efficient handling, it's not crane dependent. So it comes off a truck, as we said, bang, laid on and working with our approved installers on site to help you get to where you need to. No reduction in waste is discussed, code mark certified, and we're there to hold and support you on the on-site requirements. So as again, we do the drawings, we do all the estimating, working that with you to make sure that it's fully compliant with what project stakeholders are looking for. Easy to finish. So external finishing, direct fix, we can use non-combustible cladding, tiles, etc. We like to, obviously it's all dependent on the weight of what is going to go on the outside, just to make sure that we're working with that and things like KPA allowance, KPA allowances, etc. But it gives you a range that if you either want a rendered finish or a different finish, you can achieve that, particularly in areas such as we want to get composite look facades, where you want to get a bit of a variation on the outside of the building. Interior finishing, joint setting only, and line with plasterboard is the recommended thing. But it does come with such as ReadyWall and it's a semi-gloss finish, and it's quite ideal for existing finish in car parks, etc. But I thought what you might be opportune is just play this video quickly, and you can then see for the next 3 to 4 minutes exactly really what the whole story is. So I'm going to do this with LogicWall. Oops, sorry about that. Looks like we just did a glitch here.
Yeah, we're still seeing a white screen.
Yeah, it's just got a, there we go. Sorry, apologies.
Yep, all good.
All good?
AFS LogicWall is a fibre cement-based permanent formwork system for internal and external concrete walling, ideal for multi-residential and commercial applications. Consisting of lightweight panels created by bonding hard-wearing CSR Cementel fibre cement sheeting against galvanised BlueScope steel stud frames, LogicWall panels are load-bearing, but lightweight enough for manual installation. Preferred by architects, engineers and builders alike, LogicWall offers near endless design configurations for internal and external walls, facades, balustrades, blade walls, party walls, corridor walls, and lift and stair cores. Compliance with strict Australian building standards is a must. AFS Logic Wall is Codemark certified and AS 3600 compliant. It also has a high level of fire and acoustic performance. Logic Wall panels can vary in size and thickness to suit a variety of architectural and engineering design requirements. Each panel is labelled with a panel ID code that corresponds with shop drawings, allowing for enhanced coordination of delivery and installation stages. The AFS Logistics Service ensures that no time is wasted between manufacture to completion and delivery. Logic Wall's floor track system ensures quick installation. The floor track is fixed to the marked out slab over reinforcement starter bars. Panels are erected by hand using a set technique. The panel joiner stud is aligned and lowered down into place over the reinforcement starter bars. The panel is then locked into place over the floor track. Vertical and horizontal reinforcement is placed into the walls. Panel openings and ends are then closed with an end cap. Walls are temporarily braced at panel joints with purpose-built adjustable braces. Panels are then plumbed and straightened with levels and string lines. Steel door frames are installed with the panels, and window openings are closed with fibre cement end caps. Electrical conduits are installed from the top of the panel prior to core filling. Conduits and pipes for plumbing services are attached to the wall, which is battened and sheeted. Logic Wall provides edge form for external walls designed to suit the project's slab thickness, eliminating the need for conventionally formed edge form. And there are no exposed slab edges. The panels are then core filled with concrete over 2 passes using a boom pump. The walls are then ready to perform as a load-bearing structure for the next floor slab or roof structure. Logic Wall doubles as a hard-wearing substrate for applied finishes such as skim coating, acrylic render, and paint. Walls can be finished by joint setting only, joint setting and skim coating, or lining with CSR gyprock plasterboard. The walls are then ready for applied finishes and painting to deliver quality masonry field walls. AFS Logic Wall is fast becoming the walling system of choice for structural engineers, architects, developers and builders who are wanting the most efficient, durable and versatile solution for concrete walls. For more information on how Logic Wall can benefit your next project, contact AFS today on 1300 727 237 or visit afsformwork.com.au.
So I hope that gives a bit more, that's quite a good video because it's quite conceptual and at least gives you a good visual understanding of the solution. And we have an array of videos on board regarding design, installation, look at Ready Wall as well, and also some customer feedback that we've achieved on various projects, such as this one, the Grace in New South Wales. Again, an application where a number of thousands of metres in both internal, external, below ground and above ground applications. Shepherd's Bay as well. And again, same sort of format. But the method is that we've got a range of projects that we can show you, just if you sort of need beyond just the theory, but also to discuss, you know, how it works, see it in situ so you can get a really good firm understanding of it all. And really, for anything else, we're here to help always. So please feel free to contact us. We have a national network across the country. And actually, in the midst of me globally, we also export to the UK, through Europe, Papua New Guinea, Fiji, New Zealand, so a range of offshore venues as well. So if you do have something of an international flavour, including looking at projects in the Middle East, please talk to us. We'd love to help you out. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Brett. Look, we've got a couple of questions that have come through. Who designs the systems for our projects?
Sorry, designs the systems.
Yeah, so as a designer, do we come to AFS and they design that for us, or do we have to go to the engineers? And
Yeah, we always recommend you go through your engineers, and we work through your engineer on site and in conjunction with your designer, because it's important, because you've got to look at things such as, ductile and structural components, which are absolutely integral to the system. So structural engineering is first and foremost what we recommend. And then we work on a prescription of saying, okay, this is a walling solution that should help work with that.
Great. There's a few more questions before we go. Good. So the next one is it possible basically to install these walls prior to the concrete slab? Because we can see that when you're putting your diagonal bracings, they're being bolted down to the slab. And obviously that's going to create issues if you've got a polished surface or so forth. Is it possible to put the wall system in prior to the ground floor slab, say?
That's a good question, and probably one I could not answer straight off the cuff, because I'll get myself in trouble with our technical guys. But if you do have that situation, talk to us, because really we look at a project by project. We're very hands-on site. Yep. So I'd say I'm presented with this problem. This is the issue. Can we work through that? So we like to look at a range of options.
And look, that question actually is from me anyway, because I'm doing my own project.
Come and talk to us. So we'll
because importantly, when you've got the one with the PVC,
yes,
it's a really good system because of the fact that it acts as a waterproofing membrane straight off the bat. Yep. And a lot of people don't create step downs in their slabs, and it shocks me to see that. And I was thinking that if you were to put the wall in first, obviously you'd have your footings in, you'd have all your starter bars, and then the slab comes in. That stops that water coming through, because you've got that massive step down. That was just a thought of mine to create a different process, because I know that once we do slab details and you've got a finished slab, last thing you want to be doing is putting diagonal bracings down and then bolting into a fresh slab and having all these fill-ins afterwards.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
So, and again, this is a garage, so this was why.
Happy to engage on that and talk to our technical guys on site so we can work through it.
So we've got another question from Sonia. So the metal studs are spaced to suit each job and load it's carrying, or is it a fixed distance?
Generally, when we work with our on-site guys, it's a prescribed distance depending on the length of the wall, the size, and the thickness of the profiles. So generally around 1.5 meters apart, but it does vary according to what we require.
Yeah, okay, because that would obviously depend on your starter bars as well, the placing of your starter bars, which should normally be at every 200 mil.
And you've got single and double Rio and things like that.
Correct. Okay, another one. What about future alterations to buildings? How does this product work with introduction of new openings, etc.?
Okay, introduction of new openings. So additions and alterations, you're saying, pretty much on an established. Yeah, look, it can obviously work. It's just going to be a bit of labour intensive if you want to create an opening in an existing AFS wall. So we do it through double brick. So I guess it can be applied. It's all about just using encouraging outside engineers to make sure we get that right. But it is a possibility.
Tony's asked a similar question where it can be done on external strip footings, which is what I basically asked just before. So we've covered that. Anthony in Tasmania has asked, how are energy efficiency requirements achieved with a single skin concrete wall? But I guess it's more of a passing comment, I guess, than something you might be able to answer.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't. I would say, but some of these questions I really encourage to send them through, because what we do is we'd sit down. We've got engineers, we've got guys that sit on the board of AS 3600. We work, and those sort of components. Everything is tried and tested and worked on, thermal values and that. And if that's the application, we'd gladly come back to you on some factual information regarding that.
Okay, another question was, how can the structural integrity be ensured when we need need openings to the walls? But I guess that's something the engineers really need to discuss. Yeah,
structural integrity, and that's important because, again, you go into non-ductile and limited ductile and all this sort of thing, and it is so important to work through the structural engineers requirements. It's what they're paid to do, because they're going to put, talking about what David Chandler was saying, independent professional guidance, and then we work in to support that.